Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Farmville. Oh, that's in the shed over here. I'm going to leave that one there for a minute. I'm going to drive down to the dealership and get the seed drill that we got down there. I'm going to use that one to start planting the sorghum in the big field with this tractor. And then I will take the other tractor with the dual wheels, the Kubota, and that one can go down and start planting the corn in the field that we have just now cultivated. And then field 1, which is the last one to do, that's going to be beans, and whichever tractor gets to it first. I'm not quite sure why the seed didn't all come out of that pallet right there, because the seed drill is not full. Doesn't make any sense. Why didn't we do that properly? I did wonder why it didn't do it. There, 99 litres left. I thought that it was supposed to have 100 left in there at the end of it. So let me close that one up. So it's now got, well, that's wheat at the moment. We don't want wheat. We want to plant sorghum. So let's go oat, canola, soybeans, sorghum. That's going in the biggest field. Then this field right here beside me is going to be beans. And this next field up here is going to be corn. The beans can be planted with this planter, with this seed drill, or with the planter that we'll be doing in the other one. So that's why I'm leaving the beans until last, because it doesn't matter which one we get to with it, because both of these machines can actually plant beans, which is really cool. So let's start running you around here. I'm going to do just once around the outside edge of the field with this one, and then I'll set the hired help going and just see how it gets on with it. And then I can go and get our other drill and start working on the, with the, you know, the Great Plains thingy-majiggy. Not the Great Plains one, sorry. The other one. The planter. The big planter. And we will get the other crop. I can't remember now. My mind's gone completely blank. What's the other crop? What's the one that I'm planting? It's not the beans, because I'm putting the beans down in the other field. Oh, corn. We're planting corn up there. Easy. It's the default one for every single planter. Even I can remember that. Just making sure that it's going to turn around here properly and not try and plant the neighbouring field, although the neighbouring field is not owned by us, which I'm thinking is probably going to help, so he seems to be just fine there. Let's jump over to this one. We want to fill up now. Okay, so we don't want to be planting soybeans with that one. We want to be planting, actually, no, I don't want to be using this one at all, actually. This is not the machine that I want. So that one can just back up into the shed and stay there. Slow you down. Unhitch you. Let's take off this front weight, which I will put over here. There. Hopefully that's not going to be in the way, because that's going to be the next tools that we're using, is those mowers. And then we will be using the baler, and we'll be using that one, and we've got a turner here somewhere there as well. So what I do want is this set up in here. So I want to get that front one on. Right there, 2,200 litres of corn seed right there. And then I want this one. What I really don't like about these planters, and I've always disliked about these planters, is the massive discrepancy between fertilizer and seed. Like, why can we not have a decent supply of both? Why must it be that we have a stupidly excessive amount of only one? Like, there's no balance whatsoever with these seed drills. I don't know why. It's something that has bugged me from the very beginning with these things. And why can't I put fertilizer in here now? This is the other thing that was bugging me with this one. You've either got a really minuscule amount of seed and a massive amount of fertilizer that goes into it, or the other way around. It never seems to be any balance. With the seed drills, there does seem to be a balance. With these, there is not. There just never is any kind of balance. And now, why can't I put fertilizer in here? What have you got against fertilizer? Let me try that way. No, it really doesn't like it today, does it? Okay, let me try throwing that one away just for a minute. And then coming up here. I don't think it... What if I do this? Select seed, corn, unload, ridge marker. There's no cover for it. Start filling. There's no start filling option for fertilizer. Now this one, that is on seed selection. So if I go there to solid fertilizer, I've changed that now to the option for fertilizer. And then if I go so that the back of the machine is on here. No, that's still not working. I thought I was being a genius then, but that didn't work. So I'm going to fill this front one up with fertilizer. Like that. It's a bit more than I actually wanted to put in there. And then I'm going to go here. Now it'll fill it up. Because the last thing I selected from that seed selling place was fertilizer. I think that's how that's working, which is a bit of a nuisance for me, but still. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to empty out that fertilizer there, and I'm going to leave that so that I can just refill it from my tank later on. This one right here, obviously these just don't work for whatever reason, so we will do it like this. I'll put those in, and I'll also go and get these over here and load them in as well. Well, that was easy, wasn't it? Now, let's run on down to our field and get the corn planted. Probably have to come back here in a minute and get some more stuff, but that's absolutely fine. This one... Yeah, I'm now debating whether or not we want to keep this very long, because we've either got a minuscule amount of fertilizer or a minuscule amount of seed, both of which I don't think are very good options. Now, we can have 560 litres of seed in total on this machine, so maybe we should be filling the front up with fertilizer rather than seed. And then we've only got one that we need to worry about. So I'm not really sure which way round would be best to operate this one at the moment. We will have a look though. We will see. We'll plant this field here and then we'll sort of judge it after we've done that bit. So let's bring you back over there. Start that one up. And reverse with the seed drill in the ground, because that's a really, really good way to give yourself a nice expensive repair bill. And we'll go racing off down the edge of the field here. I really I love the dual wheels on this tractor. I don't know why, but it just it feels right with this tractor to have those dual wheels. Sometimes dual wheels look a bit out of place on a tractor, I think. This one, it just kind of seems to fit. I also don't like any of the other options that we've got for wheels on this tractor because of the fact that we've still got the metal spikes sticking out the side to allow for the dual wheels to be fitted on. I just really don't like the look of that at all. It feels horribly dangerous, and when you're sitting inside the tractor, I think you'd have a job to actually see the end of those metal spikes. So potentially when you're working in tight around the edge of the field, it could be a bit of a problem for you. I don't know. I'd have to actually drive a machine like it in order to see what it was like firsthand, but that's my guess, is that it would be a bit difficult to see what you're doing properly with those stuck out there, because I don't think you'd be able to see them very well at all. I think you'd really struggle to actually see where they were. Let's bring you round this way, and yeah, this is a really small field. The seed isn't using up anywhere near as fast as the fertilizer, so yeah, maybe the front tank should be fertilizer rather than seed. Maybe that would be the way forward with this. And that way we've got very little that we would actually need to worry about. This field here is not going to take long at all, which is one of the reasons that I actually want to make the field a bit bigger. Maybe connect these 3 long, thin fields together. We could also do a little bit of digging work and dig out the hillside a little bit, just to make it a little bit wider as well, but I don't think I want to start doing something on that kind of scale, at least to start with, in this series. And to be honest, I probably won't. That doesn't feel like something I would do. Well, it doesn't feel like something I should be doing with this series. That feels like something for a slightly more unrealistic approach. And this one, I'm going to like twice around the field, and I'm just about finished. It's really, this one I'm pretty sure is the smallest field of all. The other one up there is not far off. What I'm going to do is, once we've reached the point where we've finished all the planting, and I get the sprayer set up with herbicide so that we can go and spray the fields, I will also spray this field here, because this one's going to have weeds come up through it, but you can actually put herbicide on a field as a preventative treatment. So I think that's probably going to be a really good thing for us to go and do, is preventatively stop any weeds coming through. This thing does look very cool though, doesn't it? Yeah, I think I should be putting fertilizer in that front tank, because it seems to use that fertilizer up an awful lot faster than it uses up the other. So this field here doesn't need any more fertilizer, because we've now put the second layer on here. At least I'm assuming that we're not going to need a second layer. Let's have a look on the old map. Yep, that one's done. So that one's going to need fertilizer, and then, well, actually, I can do it with this, but I need to go back and top up before I start planting the next lot. Oops. Okay. Totally didn't do that. That was a figment of your imagination. I'm going to go and empty the seed out of the front of this thing, and I'm going to fill it all the way to the brim with fertilizer, and then we've also got a bit of fertilizer in the back, and I'm going to refill a bit in the back with more seed. It's going to take a bit of doing, because we're now going to have all the seed in those horrible boxes that you can't pull out of. You've got to physically pick them up to drop stuff in. I hate that. I don't know why it's even a thing, but I hate it. I really do. Everything else we can just, pull straight from them, but the boxes, apparently not. Apparently that's not a thing that we're allowed to do. I don't know why we're not allowed to do it, but I don't like it. I absolutely don't like it. Let's go to you. I'll take cover off and dump you on the ground like that. Then I will go to the corn. See, I got 440 litres there. I'm going to switch out the soybeans now, and I'm also going to unfold that back bit, and then I'm going to go and I'm going to take this seed here, 200 litres, and that's down to 80 litres in there. Then I've got a bit in there, so we can put them all together. That gives us 3,000 litres of seed over here. I will change that around at a later date. Let's put you down there. I'll put that into a shed or something. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do there yet. And come up here to this front bit. Oh, right. The fertilizer. Let's fill up the back bit, because then I've actually got the fertilizer in there, which I'm really going to need. And then the front bit, it's more easy to top this one up from the cell point over there, and there, and then that's the last bit, so then I can go and get just a tiny bit more. We will fold up the back one as we drive, like that. Go over here, top up the last little bit in there, put the cover back on, and off we go. So we're going to go and plant these beans, and then one more field is being planted. I'm going to change this here. That's got to be proper roads going out. I think that's going to be a lot better. It's certainly going to be easier for us to go out on the road, because obviously all of our fields are down this way, so we're constantly heading out in that direction every time. Yeah, I seen what you were trying to do there, car. I seen what you were trying to do, and quite frankly, it was unacceptable. I don't consider that to be the way to behave in the slightest. Let's carry on down here. And I'm going to go down to that far corner, because I think it's going to be easier to start from there. Also, that means that if I do like twice around the field, I can do a third time around the field over on this side, and it will just make life a little bit easier for me. So let's unfold that one. Go out to that point right there, and oops. I don't want to lower that front one down. What am I doing? There. I want to lower that one down. And then we can start planting. The very last field that will need to be planted. Beans going in here. And as soon as this is done, well, spraying next. I've still got many jobs. There are many, many jobs. And then we will be able to move on another month. And it will be May, which means it will be time to do the grass cutting. Ready for feeding our cows. As soon as we've got hay, we will then be able to buy some cows. I'm not going to do anything like buy younger stock. Although you can actually buy 12-month-old cows. They start giving milk at 12 months in the game, and then they're ready to start breeding at 18 months. So it'll be more than a year before they would actually produce more stock if we got them that way, but they would be cheaper. I'm actually thinking, though, it's going to be better if we just go straight in and we have all our animals at full-grown age, 18 months, and then they will start reproducing straight away, and we'll also be getting the milk as well. I think it's just going to be a faster way forward. I'm probably not going to dive straight in and fill the cattle pen up. I think that's going to be a bit too much. There's no guarantee that we're able to produce enough food for them, so we will sort of take that a little bit slower. The straw that we get, we will put that in for the cows, and then the manure that we get from those, we will take that round to the biogas plant, dump it in there. I don't yet know if I want to spread slurry on the fields from the cows, or if we take all the manure and slurry and we drop that straight into the digestate plant, the biogas plant, make digestate out of it, and then we get a bit of money for it as well. So not only do we get a little bit of digestate that we can go and spread on the fields, we also get some money. There is another option, and this is one that I'm actually seriously considering, because this is all sort of byproducts that we're dealing with. What we can do is we can get one of the mods that turns digestate into solid fertilizer and then just use that. And I actually think that might be a really good option, because I don't necessarily want to, because I'm doing everything sort of standard, I'm thinking just granulated fertilizer on the fields is nice, quick, easy, and it's, you know, much easier to deal with and cope with, whereas trying to spread the digestate on the field is a bit more of a headache. There's a lot more to it. If I was to get one of those mods that turns a fertilizer into digestate, problem solved. Like, turns fertilizer the other way around. Digestate into fertilizer. You put that into the machine, it basically dries it out, and then you get a bit of fertilizer coming out the other end. So we get some fertilizer for free, and then we get our digestate. We're making use of it. So we're turning the manure into digestate and being paid to do it at the same time. And then we further turn it into granulated fertilizer, which is just much easier and much cheaper to spread on the field. We've already got all the equipment for that. It goes into the seed drills for a lot of the planting anyway, and the bits that's left, we've got a fertilizer spinner that we also use for spreading limes, so we've already got that machine. We already need that machine on the farm, and just adding in a bit of extra fertilizer, well, a different source for the fertilizer, it makes sense to me. That's something that I think that we should consider. So that's one option that I'm thinking about. Whether or not I actually go and do it is another matter entirely. I'm going to think about that for a bit, because it's not something that, it's not a bridge that we need to cross just yet. Right, that one is going to carry on and do that job there. This one has got a little bit left over in this corner. I'm back doing more recording, and I've had just sort of been looking through some of the comments from the recent videos that have gone up, and most of you are fairly pleased with what we're doing, and you like the way that we're kind of planning things out. I have had some comments about the size of the machinery that we've got at the moment, and that maybe we should be looking at bigger machinery, even if it's not completely realistic with something like with a farm this size, mainly because of the fact that, you know, we still have a series to run. And yeah, I'm kind of inclined to agree with this. Now, something that I didn't know about, and I was just reading, I think this was from Glenn Perkins, is it? If I've got the name wrong, I'm very sorry. They said that the plow that we're using, the moldboard plow, the traditional plow, well, They don't particularly like it, and, well, that's fair enough, and a lot of people don't. But what they did also say was that John Deere have apparently announced that they will no longer be making moldboard plows after this year. They will only be making other types of plows, kind of, I think, like this, like the disc plow type approach, which is a lot faster, they're a lot wider, they're narrower, they're just generally easier to use. And I had no idea. I didn't know that they were actually completely stopping making the other types of plow. But a few of you have actually said you'd like to see me using something other than the plow that we've got, because it's going to be faster. And yeah, okay, yeah, that's fair enough. I'm inclined to agree. It would be faster, and we kind of need to keep things moving forward. So I need to decide what plow I want to get. Now, I'm not going to worry about it just at the moment. But we will get something new. So I'm not quite sure if I'm going to go with a chisel plow or a disc plow. So there's two different sorts. You've got this sort right here, which is a disc plow, and that sort of plows up the top couple of inches of the soil, like the top 4 or 5 centimeters. And where have we got one? You've also got chisel plows like this, which they cultivate down deeper like a traditional plow, but they don't actually physically turn the soil over. Now, there are some situations where a moldboard plow that actually physically turns the soil upside down is beneficial, and it is something that you want to do, but that's not usually when you're doing a load of crops like we've got here. That's not then something that you kind of need to worry about. So we're not actually going to concern ourselves with that. While those two tractors are finishing up doing the planting, he says, as one of them actually has finished already. Okay, this one can go back home. I was thinking that we might just take the combine home. There's a little tiny spot right there. Let's get that little tiny spot. And this field is now finished, and we have got one other field over there. So this planter, also generally speaking, machinery that I've been using, yes, I know I'm driving all over the place here, the machinery that I've been using, at the moment we've got quite small machinery, and there's a few of you who feel that perhaps we should up the scale a little bit because it's just going to take too long otherwise, and I'm inclined to agree with that. So we are going to start upgrading machinery, getting bigger machinery, and the first thing that we're going to need to be able to do that is a bigger tractor. So we will be looking at a bigger tractor fairly soon. Now, we're not really going to need that until the harvest. We've got mowing that we'll be doing next month, and then there's also the spraying and stuff. Once the mowing and the turning and everything, and we've got some hay done, we'll look at some other alternatives. Now, at the moment, I've got that small baler there, And I said that, you know, we don't really have, I didn't really want to do round bale options, but there is a baler that we could use for round bales if we wanted to, which is the fast bale, all the way down here, I think. The Vicon one. What's this? Quick bale. I'm not even sure what the quick bale. Right, I'm genuinely not sure what this one is. Wait. Okay, it's quick and quick because it's 40k and 25k, whereas the standard is, well, 20k. So that one goes a little bit faster. I don't think this one, let's have a look. Oh, Oh, my. Right, so we got the fast bale here, which is this mod here. And basically it just does one straight into the other. This one does 17 kilometers an hour. This one does also has been edited by Stevie, so we get different colors, and then that one will be faster. And then we've got the quick bale here, which does 25k. I'm kind of thinking that it might be a good idea if we were to get something like that. I mean, this one is essentially what we've got over here. So if I was to take that's 27k. If I was to take the faster option right there, that might be better. That might actually be better because, you know, the baler will fill up as we rush along and pop everything out the back. We got round bales instead of square, and round bales are actually easier to handle in the yard, especially as we've only got a front loader at the moment. I'm kind of tempted to do that, actually. And yes, I know it's not 100% realistic, but it's the speed of getting things done, and baling is one job that is rather tediously slow most of the time. So if I'm speeding that up a little bit, I think that is probably going to be okay. And I'm not doing the silly pace, and I'm also not doing the really wide windrows or anything like that. I'm just going to be driving the baler a little bit faster than we would otherwise. So I'm kind of thinking that would probably be alright. We'll have a look. We'll see. Okay, I think that is everything done in there. Let's have a look. Zoom in a little bit. I can just see if there's any bits missing. It doesn't appear to be. So we have now got everything planted, and we have one of every one of the crops that we actually want to do. So we're not doing potatoes, sugar beet, sugar cane, or cotton, or the grapes and olives. We might do poplar at some point. I'm not quite sure yet. I haven't decided. And also just want to check the fertilizer levels, because I don't remember what we did. So we got weeds on there. Yeah, okay, we've got... Oh, field 3 needs fertilizer. Field 3 will need fertilizer. That's the one right in front of us, which is that one. Actually, I could probably fertilize that now, but I've got the sprayer that I also want to use. Right. I have the sprayer down there. Unfortunately, folks, that is all we have got time for today. A massive thank you to everybody who has earned their way into the Great Book of Names. To find out some more details about all the names coming past, please head into the description and click on the link to the Discord. It's a link to another video. The link is on the other video. Please also consider checking out the links there for Nitrado, who provide gaming servers for games like Farming Simulator, Minecraft, Ark, and several others. And there's also Fanatical, who will help support your gaming habit by providing you with cheap games and also giving me a small commission on anything that you buy using my link. If you've enjoyed this particular video, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.